Well, hello there. I don't think any human being would watch this in a foreseeable future, except for my friends that I will threaten, best speller here, aren't I? That I will threaten them to watch this, or it's my future self cringing at it, or maybe being proud. I don't know. But why you are here? I mean, if you are not one of these two categories, you're a weird person. What are you doing here? I don't trust you. But if you are here, you probably want to know how to use this shit, which is really easy, but you know. The address is Parsaroid with two D's. Get it? Like I'm Parsa, and that's Android, and like Parsa, Android, Parsa. I know you get it. That GitHub.io. That means I'm poor. I don't have my own domain. Slash Parcipher. I think you get this one too. Like I'm parsa, and that's ciphering. This is cipher, parcipher. I know you get it. I trust you completely, my friend. The UI is just UI stands for unresolved issues. So this is a big unresolved issues because at first it was just a pink screen that you would navigate through with these small rectangles, but people kept missing that. How can you miss these beautiful rectangles? Because you can resize, get it? But if you because people keep missing, and by people I mean my only friend, but um, I included this. What was that? I include this rectangle, this thin white rectangle, to tell you that this is output section and this is input section, which they are basically two text areas. This is read only, and this is you can put your input to it. That was weird sentence. That was a weird sentence. Sentence structure, man. Okay, so the website itself that doesn't have any specifications for the input section except for this rectangle that you kept missing. But if you click somewhere under the rectangle, but not to somewhere near, you just go to you see this cursor. You go to input mode, and I've been really kind for you to provide a already working text, which is this, and you see nothing happens because you must be kind to it. You can stroke it a bit, and there we go. Look what we got, another website. Oh, it's not another website, it's another section of, what the fuck is that? Another section of my website. Okay, so this is a really kick-ass documentation, I would say, which I wrote. You can see the code and read what it does, and I probably explain it better than I'm going to do here. Why can't I talk? But stick to the video if you are here. It's gonna be fun. The rest is just programming. The first 22 lines is just unresolved issues that I mentioned earlier. In line 23, there is a script loading called key.js, which I always forgot to explain until it's too late, but it just contains one variable called general key that provide all the characters we are going to replace with the source string. This they call this expression, I don't know, this expression just loads a file. Why? Because we had a really small file input here that you probably missed because you don't pay attention to my unresolved issue. And there is an object called Parcipher, which is a big object relative to the file. I mean, it's a small object, but the whole file is 100 lines, and this is like 60 lines, so relatively it's big. It got a couple of array attributes called en and temp. You may question my naming, why this is en, because in the previous versions I got two source arrays called en and fa, like English and Farsi, because I'm Iranian. I need people, I need my own friends that speak Persian to understand. I need an audience, you know what I mean. But in this version, which is better, I just smashed them all into one big ugly array, and I just forgot to change the name. I was too late. I mean, I noticed it, but I was like, who cares? Temp is just temp. You fill it with your keys. That was weird. And you just use them to swap the characters. The function find will be explained when it's called. And we got this beautiful autocrypt function here at line 50, which really, I mean, who doesn't want an autocrypt function in its program? It takes str and shift target as parameter, which at the first line we copy the general key to key, which I don't know if you call this copying or not. Since I'm studying Rust, these things has become really, really weird. And I think you know what this means. And this is a for loop that just fills the temp with the keys in the general key, but it makes sure that there is no reoccurring character. I sound so elegant. That's why this statement, that these conditions exist to make sure that each character is unique, because if there is not, you cannot really do anything, because if a character represents two characters in the source, how we would know which one we are using? You get it. I really trust you. And this is where my geniusness shines, and I'm being sarcastic if you don't understand it. Please do. In the previous versions, we had a decrypt and encrypt function, which was basically the same, but the source and destination array was opposite of each other. But here I abstracted away and created two variables. So the source array would be always init, and that was, I don't know, and the destination array is always final. And well, because there's only two possibilities, it's like a switch. So we can pass a boolean, in this case called shift target, to just tell it to, like, if this was true, set the source to en, and if it false, set it to temp. So this is like abstracting away the decrypt and encrypt into one thing. And then it's the normal job that we do. We just, okay, now the find is called. What find does is you give it an character like arg, and you pass it an array, and it would iterate through the elements of array until it finds arg, and if it does, it returns the index. And that's what we use here. We replace the character at index that specific index in final with init. So that is basically what is happening here. Why that was so confusing? I guess you get what I mean. You just replace the array. Index is constant. You just replace an array. And this little trick here is for new lines, because new lines is important. And this is like my preventation they say, for undefined characters. And here you just replace them and you return the text. So we are done, right? No. The real autocrypt actually happens in configure function. In here we got a control flow to see what we are going to do, because in previous versions we would specify that we want to encrypt or decrypt, but here it just checks the second character of the string, because the first one may be a, I don't know, white space or something weird. And just to be sure, it checks the fourth character of the string too. If it included in this en array, it means that's a normal text that we want to encrypt. And if it doesn't exist there, it's probably because it's a Chinese character that we want to replace with. So that's that the real autocrypt happens in configure. And configure takes two parameters, content and print. Content is just, the thing we are encrypt or decrypting. Print is because I created this function to use anywhere. Sometimes I just need the return value. So I pass this boolean to make sure that if I want to display the results or not. And that's pretty much it. I mean, and you just have two events, touch move and mouse move, because interactive design, and that's basically the whole program. The only thing I forgot to mention was the general key is all uppercase, but it's not constant because it was constant at previous versions, but now it's mutable because we have this file input here that you can change the characters. Like here we are. Wait, I just explained the whole thing without telling you what it does. You just give it a character, you just give it some Persian or ASCII supported characters, most of them, and it just encrypt or decrypt that for you to Chinese characters. Or like if you pass Chinese characters, it will give you the English version. It's not a translator or something, obviously, and I don't know what these Chinese characters mean, really. I hope that that's not something bad. I don't think it is. It's just verbs, but yeah, it's just a text encryption program. But this file input just change the general key. Like you can pass anything. You can pass Korean alphabet. You can pass English alphabet. So it maps from English to English, but it will be randomized. But I chose Chinese because most people don't know it around me, and they would just think it's just a normal Chinese text. I mean, who cares? I mean, I care, but they just say I don't understand it. But if I pass like a randomized string, they would know it's encrypted. Sorry for all the rambling, and yeah, this was my first documentation. I hope I stop posting JavaScript because these videos are essentially for me documenting my Rust programs. But this one was a test, and thank you for listening to me if you made it this far, and goodbye.